Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fleabag Full of Grace, where one of us will be doing a Fleabag rewatch, while the other one will be seeing it for the first time. I'm Mariquita from Post Film Clarity, and this is my third Fleabag rewatch.
And my name is Anna of Stone's Top Tens, and I've never seen Fleabag. We are two friends who each have our own movie podcasts and decided to do a limited television series together, landing on Fleabag. In each episode, we will break down an episode of Fleabag, discussing the themes, scenes, and what stands out to us.
We'll cover one Fleabag episode per pod, which means 12 total pods released weekly on Thursdays. You can follow us on socials at Post Film Clarity Pod and at Stone's Top Tens, all one word. You can email us at either address at gmail.com.
If you're enjoying our content, feel free to check out our respective podcasts of Post Film Clarity and Stone's Top Tens wherever you listen to your pods. Let's get started.
In the second episode, we start off with a frightening PMS fantasy. Fleabag consults her skeevy brother-in-law, Martin, and we learn how many breakups it's been for Fleabag and Harry. We also learn more about Boo, and Fleabag's family visits the cafe. What did you think of this episode, Anna?
Okay, first of all, I loved that intro. I thought it was such like a way to really show you that this show is going to be something different. You know, we already have the fourth wall breaks, and this was like another way to show that this just isn't going to be a regular sitcom or drama or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. Like right
Nice.
from the get-go, I was like, this is great. I'm really glad that I don't get weird PMS fantasies. That would be terrifying. So I was really thankful that that is not an experience that I have. So this episode, and it's been a week since I watched, so I'm like having the true, you know, release date type of situation, not a binge watch. And it was so easy to just like slip back into the show. Although I did forget what her sister looked like. I forgot what Claire looked like because I think she had her hair up the first time.
Yeah.
So like,
I believe so.
I was like, is that Claire when she like shows up at her house?
Yeah.
I also, like, I'm just the worst when I watch something where if I find someone who is in something else. So I was like, oh, is that Murray from Stranger Things? Like,
Yeah.
young Murray. And then realizing, like, her dad is Ned Gowan in Outlander. So I was just like, oh my gosh.
See,
Again.
Outlander comes up once again on the show.
And again, like, the people showing up and being, not expecting them. I love that. I love when that happens. Let's talk about Harry. This is a very Harry-centric episode.
Yes, I was a little skimpy in my description because I wasn't sure when you were going to fill out your part of the notes on this, but oh my God, justice for Harry.
But is it justice for Harry? Because like,
no, I'm calling for justice for Harry is what I mean. Because
but like, should there be
menace?
But like when he's like, you're not like other girls, you can keep up, and he like points to his head, I was like, I'm sorry, dunzo.
She treats Harry like garbage. We're talking about her boyfriend, right?
Yes, but
you're not like other girls. Did he say that?
Yes, she thinks back and she's like, oh yeah, he was really nice to me, but then sometimes he said stuff like this, and it was this clip of him being like, you're not like other girls, you keep up, and he points to his head.
Oh my God, why am I thinking that was arsehole guy? Wow.
No.
Okay, so Harry, I don't know. Yeah, Harry doesn't deserve all of the hate that she throws his way, but yeah, you're right. Maybe he's not as perfect as I was making him out to be. I feel so bad for him. She terrorizes this man. They break up. What does she say? It's like 8, 10, 12 times. Basically, every time she wants her house deep cleaned, she breaks
that
up
was brutal. When she's like, sometimes he even cleans the flat, and then she's like, sometimes I even time the breakups when it needs a little pickup, and I was like, that is brutal.
Diabolical behavior.
It actually made me think of, and it's a very different situation because I was young, but when I was in middle school, there was a boy that I dated off and on, and we must have broken up and got back together like 7 or 8 times.
Oh.
And after the last time, my mom was like, Anna, that's enough.
That's enough, girl.
She was like, you cannot date him anymore. He is a nice guy, but you are done.
You
And I
are
was just
done.
like,
Just hang it up. Oh my god. Yeah, the way that oh my god. I don't know. I think especially the ninja surprise
oh my
really
God, that's so bad.
that was come on, girl. You had him like sobbing in the shower thinking he was about to be murdered. Like that's not okay.
Okay, so like when she comes into the flat and she sees his surprise setup,
Mhm.
and you could tell she's like, "Oh shit, I don't have a surprise planned." Um, I thought she was gonna do something like pick out some lingerie or do like a naked under the trench coat thing, and then I was like, oh no, oh no, she's going for a weapon. Um,
Why do we jump straight to the murder fantasy? Like, girl, what are you doing?
can I also just say what a truly terrible person I am for how hard I laughed. Like out loud laughter.
I am Anna, I am so disappointed in you.
I'm sorry, but his reaction was so funny, and he's
That
like
was
trying to play
terrible.
it cool. He's like trying to play it cooler, and he's like, it's fine, and then he like shrieks, and he's like, I think I'm still in shock.
You know I hate pranks. This is
Oh, same.
well established, yeah. I fucking hate pranks. Oh my
I hate
god.
a prank.
That shit had me so mad. I hate a prank and I hate defending a man. And this episode just you had me I was like, that was so mean to do to Harry. Why would you do that to him?
It was so mean.
That's
and
how
like,
you know Fleabag ain't shit. She really ain't shit sometimes.
like, oh my gosh, I felt so bad, but it was also so funny.
You're the worst.
I know.
You would be up there defending her, like if you were friends with her in real life. You'd be like, "Well, she was just
Probably
having
not.
fun."
Probably not, because I hate that shit. Like,
Oh my god.
I am not a fan of a prank. I am not like, I'm the worst in the fact that like, you know when someone's like trying to pull one over on somebody else and you're just like expected to go along with it?
Oh, please don't.
I never get it. I miss every cue. And I just ruin it every single time. Because like I hate that. I hate dishonesty. It's like my number one, like if you don't want to be friends with me anymore, lie to me and then we can be done.
Ooh.
Because like that's it. And oh my gosh, it's just, and then do you know what bothered me though is that's not what causes him to actually break up with her.
Oh, he stayed with her.
He's like, that's fine. You just made me think I was going to die in the shower.
To be brutally murdered.
But it was her porn consumption that was the deal breaker for him.
Which is another red flag in Harry's case because he was so weird and like controlling about it. He was
very controlling about it.
He was like, we don't need that anymore, and like just we decided that like we're not watching porn anymore, and Fleabag's like, who is we? I never agreed to that. Like, what are you talking about?
That whole decision he made there was very much a him decision, staged as a we decision.
Yes, exactly. And I don't like when guys try to do that, just like, oh, well, because I think something, like, A, we both have to think it, we both have to do it, and there's no, like, I don't know. What does it hurt you to have her, you know, be, like, a sexual person? Isn't that part of the reason you're together, you know?
Yeah, and he's so judgmental with it, and what I really don't like is that he comes to the conversation with the decision already made.
Yes!
Which is like, okay, if you want to have a conversation about that in a partnership, then the conversation needs to be had by both people. And it wasn't. It was just him being like, this is what we're going to do. I do have to say, I thought it was really funny when she gets, she hooks up with our soul guy And in the middle, it's like she's like uncomfortable with the tone he's taking and the things that he's saying. And she makes this comment, like this aside, where she's like, Madam Ovary is telling me to go back to a safe place. And I died. I was laughing so hard. Madam Ovary is hilarious.
I think that's a lot of Fleabag's, like, why she keeps going back to Harry. You know, I don't even think she likes him necessarily, but she kind of just uses him because A, he's safe, and B, he's like a punching bag to her. And I feel like maybe she's working out a lot of her grief, you know, through this like manufactured like drama and chaos with Harry. You know what I mean? Like it's like a way for her to like distract herself from her real trauma and real grief, you know, with Boo and her mother and just other issues that she's actually having. I think she's just kind of taking it out on him, and I don't think that's very fair to do to someone, especially someone who obviously loves you.
Well, and she knows how to manipulate him.
Oh, like hook, line, and sinker.
She literally calls him with still wet hair from the date before. And she knows just how to look at him to make him do what she wants. She knows just what to say, how to kind of like pout her face a little bit to get him to do what she wants. And it's just, you know,
grade A manipulator. Yeah.
Yeah, it really makes her unlikable. It just really makes her unlikable. And like, I like her a lot, but like that part of it, I'm like, oh, that's not it.
Exactly. That'll be a continuing theme throughout. She is very hard to like sometimes. And I love that as like a female lead. I love when there's a complex like female character that isn't, you can't always root for her, but you still want to see what she's doing, you know, and where she's going. And there's still a part of you always that like is like, she's not the greatest, but I still love her. I still care about her, you know. And I think maybe
that's real, right?
It makes her so much more. I was just gonna say that it makes her so much more realistic and relatable and human.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of this was based off of Phoebe herself, and I feel like it comes through in her writing and in her performance of the character.
The last thing that really stood out to me in this episode was, so I'm an animal lover. I have 2 dogs whom I adore, and I just love I love an animal.
Same.
I think I said hi to your cat before I said hi to you today when
You
we got on camera.
You did actually. Oh my god, I should be offended, but I expect it. You're like, oh my god,
Sorry.
hi Max.
It's Max. So like,
so true.
When the guinea pig comes into play, I think it's a really interesting detail. First of all, because I think it's hilarious that it's like a panic birthday gift, which is like so real sometimes for like someone you know so well and someone that you care about so much. And you're just like, what do I get them? And I just love that she like panicked and got a guinea pig, and then Boo just made it her entire personality. Like, that's how they decorate the entire cafe. I just think that's hilarious and perfect. And
isn't it so wonderful? It's like a little Hillary is basically like the most complex like inside joke between friends. Like she's like their side, their what am I trying to say? She's like their third wheel, you know?
Yeah. And like, you know, they get all the decorations for the cafe end up being guinea pig based.
It's a guinea pig themed cafe. Everyone's like, okay.
Everyone's like, that is not sanitary. That thing is like a rodent.
That's weird. That's gross.
Whereas I'm like, sign me up.
Real. Actually, this is a perfect time to do it because I didn't realize what episode Hillary debuted in, so I had done this research and just needed somewhere to drop it. So while we're on the topic, I do have some guinea pig facts.
Yes. Love this.
And I didn't know, I don't think I knew any of this actually, except for the one thing. They mentioned in the show, and this is actually true, they can die from loneliness.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so sad.
they are extremely social. Um, and they are from South America. I also did not know that. They're they're edible. They eat them in
Yeah,
South
I think that
America.
it's like it's a
And
staple, I think, in some
yeah,
South American
I
cuisine.
think I
Hmm.
think Chile, specifically, and maybe a couple other countries, they eat the guinea pigs there. But they communicate through purring and chirping, just like cats do. They're rodents, and they eat grass and alfalfa. And those are my guinea pig facts.
I love that. Although I hate the fact that they could die of loneliness. That makes me so sad.
It's highly, highly, highly recommended to buy them in pairs. You can't buy them
Oh,
alone, or else they end up like Hillary, who's all like,
oh. Trying to
sad.
escape
Yep,
during
she's
the
trying to
lunch rush
escape
of two people.
because she's lonely.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's yes. So I love Hillary, and I also love the fact that the more that we're seeing here is the fact, and like I knew that part of the reason why Fleabag wanted to try so hard to keep the cafe running
Mhm.
is because she started it with Boo. Okay, so like
Yeah.
that is obvious. But also the more we see of it, the more you see that it's kind of like a shrine to Boo. Her
Cry.
picture is up, all the pictures of the guinea pigs, the fact that she keeps Hillary there. I feel like that's just probably going to become more apparent the more you see of it. Because I feel like in the first episode, the only real view we got of the cafe was of Fleabag like sitting at the counter and then one person sitting at a table. You didn't get a lot more than that. And now we started to see a little bit more of the seating area. We got to see Hillary's pen. We got to see, the lunch case.
Mhm.
Um,
And we get a lot of flashbacks this episode as well
yeah.
of Boo and Fleabag. Um, yeah, I love that note. Oh, that's such a beautiful thing you said about it being a shrine to Boo. Yeah, it's like Fleabag's way of keeping her alive and keeping her memory alive. And I think just having like a tangible place to kind of visit her,
Uh-huh.
And something I noted on this third rewatch was the just pointing out that when you lose someone that you're really close with and you go through that period of still like seeing them everywhere. I don't know if you've experienced that, where you still like see and hear them, and that goes on for God, months, sometimes years.
I don't have the seeing and hearing, but I have the because I used to talk to my grandma on the phone all the time. Like
Mhm.
since I was in middle school,
Mhm.
I would talk to her while I waited for the bus when my mom started working, and then I would abruptly hang up on her as the bus came around the corner. Like it's such a miracle to me that she would like get up early every morning to talk to me on the phone while I waited for the bus,
Aw.
just for me to be like, "All right, Nana, the bus comes. See you later.
All
Bye,"
right,
and
bye.
like hang up and throw the phone. And like that went, all for a very long time, all the way till the end of her life. I talked to her on the phone a lot. So I have more moments where I'm like, oh, I should call Nana.
Yeah.
And it's like it takes a minute to
And
remember.
you
So like
can't.
I haven't had the seeing or the hearing, but I
Mhm.
have a lot of oh, I should just give her a call before I remember.
Yeah, there's certain people I still have in my phone, and they've been gone for like years. I'm like, oh man, I just want to call you.
Uh-huh.
It's the worst. I think she does such a like a good. I just love the way the flashbacks are structured in this series. They seem a lot less. I don't know if you've noticed this too. I know you're only 2 episodes in, but they seem a lot less like cheesy, and like cheap
They feel
than
very natural.
natural. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
The same way the fourth wall breaks do. I think part of it is that Phoebe Waller-Bridge just has the comedic timing for that down pat, where sometimes it's just like a flick of the eyes.
Yeah.
It's not even like a full aside, it's not even a full facial expression, it's just like and I feel like the flashbacks fit into that kind of perfectly, where it's like I think about the one where she steps out in the street and she almost gets hit by the bike, and it like immediately flashes to Boo. That that would be her thought.
Yeah.
It's just like a little peek into her brain.
Oh, that's a perfect. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Maybe that's why they're not so jarring and so like expository, you know? Like
Yes.
there's I'll be honest, there's a lot of series where it's just like you go to a flashback and it's like, remember when we have to go to this place to do this thing because A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and you're like, oh my God. Like no one talks like that. Or, you know, how they say each other's names, like the characters say each other's
Mm,
names over and over and over and over. And it's like no one talks like that in real life. I just
right.
think the way she wrote this is very, you're right, natural and just again intimate. I think I said that last episode too. It just feels very intimate, like you're really really getting to know this woman, and through her memories you're getting to know Boo as well, and I love it. I love it. I so appreciate that.
Well, the same fits with the Hillary. So you see Hillary and the two yoga ladies leave the store, and it segues into how she got Hillary, which is exactly how your brain would work,
Hmm.
right? You'd have that moment, it would take you back there. Like it's just very natural.
Yeah,
Very natural.
yeah, I love it. I also so last speaking of last episode, I also said the last episode I don't rewatch TV. That's a lie. Um I didn't lie per se, but I just forgot like when I was being put on the spot. I do have a few things that I am constantly rewatching,
Okay.
like over and over again. I'm always in some state of rewatch on Mad Men.
I've never
Uh
made it all the way through Mad Men.
oh my God, Anna. Man, if we had the time to do all 6 seasons, or is it 6 or 7? Mad Men is my number one television show of all time. Um, it's
Wow.
so beautiful and so, oh man, it's just so layered. I love
It's,
Mad Men.
it's
So
one of
I'm,
those where I feel like I need a guide.
oh,
And this was
oh,
like before I got into podcasts. So like
I could do that.
okay,
Just
we're gonna add this to the list.
add it to
So
add it to the
we have
2026 docket.
we have Lost.
Yeah.
We have Veronica Mars, only the
Yep.
first 3 seasons, and now
Yes.
we also have Mad Men. Got
Mad
it.
Men.
Got
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think they're all like 6 seasons as well, which is funny.
and like back when there were 22 episodes a
Oh,
season.
oh my God, yeah. Hundreds. That'd be hundreds. That's like 3 years worth of potting right there.
We're gonna be like in our respective nursing homes.
Which I would love to do if we didn't both have day jobs, tragically.
Oh, so lame.
But yeah, so I know it's the worst. So yeah, Mad Men, I'm constantly rewatching. I'm actually I think I'm on like my maybe fifth or sixth rewatch of that right now. And I'm towards the end of season five. Where am I at? I think I'm at the end of season 5.
Okay.
I'm always rewatching Lost. We've already talked about that. I think I've seen that also probably 4 or 5 times. New Girl.
Oh, I'm always watching New Girl.
There we go. There we go.
That's 100%.
I think that might be, besides Community. Yeah, Community and New Girl are my two favorite. Like Community, New Girl, and Arrested Development are like my 3 favorite like half-hour comedies.
I think mine would be New Girl, Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Ah,
and if I had to pick a third,
2000s Fox era.
I think and this is purely from nostalgia. It's so problematic. We were literally talking about it this week, that 70s show.
Oh, yes, we
There's so many
were.
issues with it, but it like,
Yours are all Fox shows.
no, wasn't
Yeah.
that 70s show on the CW?
No.
I
No,
have the
that's
DVD
Fox.
box sets of that 70s show.
Wow.
And I also didn't realize that they were smoking pot when they were in the circle until I was like in college.
Oh, honey, you're so innocent. You're so sheltered. I love that.
It took me an unreasonably long amount of time to be like, are they?
Oh.
Oh, they're smoking pot. Got it.
When I realized it was probably like middle school. It wasn't that long
Oh,
after
thank you.
the show
That's
premiered.
nice.
Well,
Just
I'm
rub
gonna
it
tell you
in.
why. No, I'm going to tell you why. It's because It's because my friends I wasn't smoking or drinking or doing anything until I was in college, but my friends were. And when they started acting like the characters on that 70s show were acting during all those basement scenes, I was like, oh my God, they're high. They're, okay, I
No,
get it
I had
now.
no context. I had no idea. Not a clue. And then all of a sudden I was like, there's a lot of smoke. Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that 70s show,
Yeah.
that respect. Also The Sopranos is probably my second favorite hour-long drama ever.
I've also never made it all the way through that.
Girl, I was raised on that show.
We didn't have cable. So
we got cable for this is a funny story. The only reason I even had cable, like beyond basic cable, was because of The Sopranos. My parents were both my dad, I think, was working maybe in like a boys' home at the time, like a secure facility, and my mom was working at a hospital at the time, and like both of them, every day they went to work, all their coworkers, because they do like 12-hour shifts together, and there's a lot of downtime and chatter, and both of them came home from work one day and like looked at each other and they're like, have you heard about the show The Sopranos? Like, oh my God, it's all anybody at work wants to talk about. Like, what the hell is going on? And we've never had HBO, right? And they like look at each other at the same time and they're like, we need HBO. And I was like, I was like, yeah, we do need HBO. It was the New York, New Jersey FOMO. You had to be there. New York in 1999. If you weren't watching The Sopranos, who are you even? Are you even a New Yorker? Like, everybody was obsessed with that show. I went to high school with a girl who went to middle school with AJ Soprano, because that kid is from Queens. Yeah, so we were like 1 degree of separation from Robert Eiler, and yeah, everyone was obsessed with The Sopranos. So I watched it as it aired, like live originally, and then I think I've seen it probably 6 times since then. That was a big college rewatch for some reason. I think my roommate had it on DVD and we would just watch it all the time.
Nope, we had like 7 channels. I grew up on a lot of crime procedurals.
Oh man, the network ones, yeah.
Yep.
Like Law and Order,
the CSIs.
CSI.
All the CSIs.
Oh Lord.
Criminal Minds.
I hate all those shows.
I go in like in bursts where like sometimes I just need a show where I know the problem's going to be solved by the end of the episode. And I need that theme song. Dun dun bum, bum, ba, da, da. So
oh my goodness. Oh, and then my final one is the OC.
Oh, great theme song. First season, very good.
The first 2 seasons are god tier, and then it like falls off a cliff once they killed Marissa. Oh my God, one of the worst like television decisions ever made. Honestly, it's
one
up there.
Of the best SNL sketches. The what you say? I can't take that scene seriously anymore after that SNL sketch.
You're so right. Andy Samberg, he defined a generation of comedy.
I love him.
I love him so much.
That's why I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, exactly. Look at that full circle from the OC to Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Beautiful, beautiful. Do you have any more behind-the-scenes facts for us?
Yes, I do actually. So I also learned, and I think I kind of brought it up earlier because the way it was written and performed seems so like realistic and natural to who Phoebe is. A lot of the reason for that is because it's based off a one-woman show that she performed at the Edinburgh Comedy Festival back in 2013. And I think this first season is 2016. So she had workshopped this for 3 years as like a stage performance before Fleabag aired on Amazon Prime. And during this time period, she also created the British TV show Crashing. She was in her 20s when she did that. Like
God, I can't imagine.
young. I want to say like 25 or something crazy. And during this time period of her like developing Fleabag, she also is an actress, obviously. She was on Broadchurch season 2. Have you ever seen Broadchurch?
Mm-mm.
It's a really, really popular like BBC crime procedural, actually. So you would
Oh,
probably love it.
I
And
should check it out.
I think it's David Tennant. Yeah, oh my god, it's David Tennant and Olivia Colman, bitch.
Holy heck.
As the lead like detectives. Oh my god, you have to watch the show. Jonathan Bailey is on here? Oh shit. Oh wow.
Adding it to the list.
Oh, I'm looking at this cast. This cast goes crazy. After Broadchurch, she became the head writer of Killing Eve, and she was a showrunner for season 1, which I think it might be the best season of Killing Eve. Emerald Fennell took over Killing Eve from Phoebe after season 1. I think I'll give her credit. Up until like season 3, it was on point, but then it started getting so stupid. And by the end, it was like definitely you could feel Phoebe's absence in that. But that's basically everything that she was on or involved with that like directly led her to the development of Fleabag. So
Nice.
that's my behind the scenes on how Fleabag came to be.
Okay, so we didn't get a whole bunch of new character names this episode, but I didn't like that she called that one guy Chub Chub when he was like not even big. Not that you should call even like a big person Chub Chub, but like
ideally not.
No, I don't like being called that. I wouldn't prefer to be called that. So like, no, thank you.
Me neither. Yeah, don't do that. Only I can call me chubby. Thank you.
Right, like I can say all those things, but I mean, although actually, I'm gonna be real honest. I don't really care what other people do because it is what it is. But
Yeah.
that I was like, rude. And then
Very.
he was like, walk of shame, and I was like, oh, what was it, like the loser cough? I was like, dude,
Walk of shame. Yeah.
oh my gosh, whoever started doing that sucks.
Absolute loser energy for sure. Yeah, I think the best character name is still Arsehole Guy. Like I don't know if we're I don't know if we're topping that for a minute. But I also love the classic yoga girls that we got this episode.
Can we talk about the fact that we found out this week that Netflix is dropping a Pride and Prejudice adaptation, and what was his name? Rodent face guy is going to be Mr. Collins.
Bus Rodent.
Bus Rodent is going to be one Mr. Collins of boiled potatoes fame.
We were going crazy in the chat. Oh my god. You're like, is this Bus Rodent? I was like,
I was too distracted by the casting of Olivia Colman and of Fiona Shaw.
Yes.
As Lady Catherine de Bourgh, and all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, is this without the prosthetic teeth Bus Rodent?
Bus Rodent, indeed. He will be in the new Pride and Prejudice.
Which I'm very nervous about.
Me too. That was perfect timing, though. For those of you who haven't listened, Anna did an amazing episode of Post-Film Clarity on Pride and Prejudice last season. If you want to check that out, it's one of my favorite episodes of season 1, by far.
I love Pride and Prejudice, book and movie, so
we had a
lot
ball.
To say.
Yeah, you also killed it. That is our most popular YouTube video.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Number 1, baby. So what was your favorite fourth wall break this episode? This is one of my favorite categories that we came up with, by the way.
Yes, this is great. I love this. So I thought the whole scene in the bath was very interesting because I feel like that is like relationship territory, not one night stand territory. So I thought that was very weird.
He was getting super intimate with her, but honestly, I have a little bit of an intimacy kink, so I kind of like it. He's like, what are your deepest, darkest desires? And like, how do you feel about this, that, and the third? And I was like, oh my God, obsessed.
So I loved when she was like, I think her aside was something like, he always asks these deep philosophical questions like, and then
Yep.
he asks, like what her biggest fear is. And she goes, and I reply with something like, losing the currency of youth. And like that, I just thought was so perfect.
She
You
drops it
know,
so casually, but it's so like just right into your gut,
well,
just
and
like,
how real is that?
yeah.
My friends and I have been talking recently, um, not exactly about the age aspect, but about like the weight aspect of
Mhm.
being seen in society and when you're not. Because one of my friends is losing a lot of weight right now, and I
Mhm.
am not.
Mhm.
And the fact that like when you are overweight or of a certain age, which is like where I feel like I'm getting, I'm in my mid-30s.
Mhm.
I am overweight and
Mhm.
like I am invisible to most people in society. Like they just do not look at you.
Yeah.
And like that idea of like losing the currency of youth. You don't think about it when you're young, like in your teens and your 20s, how valuable
Yeah.
that is.
Oh god, it's so like hard to admit that, but yeah, of course it is. Like when you're younger, when you're thinner, usually like people just, even if it's subconscious, people
Mhm.
treat you differently. They just do.
And I'm not saying it's a conscious thing.
No.
I think a lot of it is unconscious. Same thing
Yeah.
as like pretty privilege.
Oh yeah,
Like
for sure.
all falls into that.
Yeah, I agree. I love that she just like said it though. Like that wasn't an
Yes.
aside. Like she actually said that. Like, hey,
Right.
I actually feel this thing. But again, because she is who she is, she plays it off as like, haha, I'm being witty and jokey, but like, am I?
Yeah.
So that's
What was your favorite?
that's a great one. My my
Yours is
my
so good.
it's so inappropriate. I'm trying to think of how to delicately word it, but it's when she says something about being like outrageously horny and how she wants to like jump the next person who comes into the cafe.
Yes.
Oh, and then her father walks in. And she just looks at the camera and she's like, not ideal. Brilliant. Brilliant,
So
Phoebe.
good.
You
So good.
you hate to see it. Oh my god, the timing is just so beautiful. It's rich.
Yes.
What about favorite lines from this episode? Favorite dialogue?
Um, when the yoga girls are in there and they're talking about how great their bodies are, and one of the women talks about how, I don't know if it's a husband or a boyfriend, wants to have a baby, and her friend is like, "Oh," and she goes, I can't blow this body on a baby." Okay, I
Again,
need to
that's
just.
fucking valid. I have friends who have said that. They're like, "Oh, as soon as I get like the body I've always wanted, as long as I'm like getting a great job and like, I forget which friend of mine it was. Actually, I do remember. I just don't want to say on mic. But one of my friends who will go unnamed was like, "Oh, I lost the weight. I got the good job. I got a car that works well, bought a house, got everything together." And then she's like, the second I was like, "All right, I'm who I want to be," she got pregnant. And she was like,
Oh.
fuck. And she was like not happy about it. That's why I don't want to say who it was, but she's just like, oh, I just got everything I wanted and I just got the body I wanted. And now here come this goddamn baby.
I just thought that was really, really funny. And it's just, she thinks she says something like, "Well, I gotta leave him." Like,
Obviously. I mean,
like,
what am I
it's
supposed to
gotta be
do?
done.
I have to dump him.
And then the other one I have, you also have. So I don't know if we want to talk about this
Ooh,
together.
yes, of course, of course. I had a feeling that you're a Pisces and you have a
I am a
poetic
Pisces.
mind. I was like,
Yes.
this is definitely going to be one of Anna's favorites, but I put it anyway because it's also one of my favorites. The when her and Harry are breaking up for the 15th time, and this isn't the final. No, this isn't the final one where he actually takes the dinosaur, is
No,
it?
this is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got that mixed up. I was like, I don't know which breakup this was because they depicted so many in this
Right.
episode. But yeah, when he's like leaving her for good and he says, "Don't make me hate you. Loving you is painful enough." Oh,
Oh my
oh my god,
god.
that's bars. That's bars. And she like
And she says
again,
it. She's like, I don't want to be insensitive, but like write that down.
I know we're fighting right now, but go get your notebook and write that down.
And she's like, you need that for like your music and your art. Like write that down.
So unserious. She's
But like she's right. Like
oh,
that
she's
is
totally right. It's
that is it.
I think that's a lot of Phoebe in that moment of just like, I'm sure someone has broken up with her and said something like that. And she's like, damn, that's a good line. While being broken
Right.
up with, you know?
Like it's just really good. It's also like so melodramatic.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my we've been talking about these teen shows that we watched growing up
yeah.
that were so formative with and that was one thing like when I actually fell in love with my husband of like having to realize that these big dramatic declarations of love and all of the corny stuff that
Oh
happens
my
like
god, kissing
that's
upside
just not
down
like
in the
real.
rain.
Yeah, or like I think of all like the Nathan and Haley in One Tree Hill, like all that stuff, like that's just not real. And this was like this like tugged on my CW loving heartstrings of like, oh, don't make me hate you. Loving you is painful enough.
For sure.
Needs
for
to be
sure.
an emo song.
That's what I was just gonna say. That I was like, doesn't that sound just like like Midwest emo lyrics or like fucking
like a dashboard confessional.
dashboard confessional song?
Like that's what that needs to be.
A Taking Back Sunday song. Like
yes.
That's a fucking bar. Yeah, great
yes,
line.
It is.
So, oh my god, I think that that's bringing us up to predictions. What? I know this is kind of an odd episode to try to predict what happens next. The only like propellant thing we have is the little side. Oh, we didn't talk about it really. Fleabag with her brother-in-law Martin, like trying to
stealing the statue and trying to sell it.
Trying to sell the golden bust, which is our podcast logo.
Yes.
If you know, you know. Keep an eye on that bust. That's gonna be it's very important.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, Martin and Fleabag's relationship and him basically her again, this is peak little sister shit, but her surprising him into throwing a surprise party for Claire.
That she's gonna plan herself.
Diabolical. Just absolute demonic shit from Fleabag. She's really on one this episode. So I think outside of the birthday party or whatever's gonna happen with the birthday party, what else do you think is gonna happen coming up?
Okay, so last time I questioned whether Boo's accident was truly an accident. And I think that after this episode, I am definitely leaning more towards it being like a genuine suicide attempt versus like an accident. Just from that brief flashback we had of her standing on the curb, that was kind of my thought. I also think that her dad is definitely going to find out that she stole that statue. I thought it was so funny when he comes in to ask. He's like, did you steal a statue? Did you steal a statue? Did you steal the statue? He says it like 3 times.
Because he doesn't know. He's so awkward and uncomfortable. Like, you can tell he has such a problem with confrontation. Like, him even getting up the nerve to go to the cafe and ask her probably, like, ruined his week. And she totally fucking did it.
Well, and then she's like, she goes, no, what statue? And I'm like, well, there's your problem, is that you said no before you asked what statue. That's problem number 1. And then he goes, well, okay, you said no, so you didn't.
And then just like awkwardly shuffles out. Yeah. I haven't blown anything, but the statue will come back is all I'll say.
And then
oh, man.
I am conflicted on this next prediction.
Okay.
Because there are so few episodes, I am less confident about this prediction. But based on the intro, And the fact that I know, like, Phoebe Waller-Bridge was in the Harry Styles music video for Treat People with Kindness, so, like, I know she's kind of like a musical person.
Oh my god, a Harry Styles reference. You hear that, Kate?
Listen, I need that man to come out with a new album. I know he's come out with some other things lately. I don't care. I want a dang album.
Oh my god, you and Catherine both.
No, I love Harry Styles. I have all of his stuff on vinyl.
I did not
Big
know
fan.
this. Oh
Yes.
wow. This is
My
a
big artists are like Harry Styles, Greta Van Fleet, wearing a shirt of theirs today, and Chappell Roan. Like,
wow, this is a big day for you and Kate have like the same music taste. This is very
I was a modern artist.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of like 60s, 70s, 80s. Okay, but I think that at some point there's going to be a genuine musical number in the show.
I am so fascinated by this prediction. I think
Don't tell me.
No, I'm not. I just think given the opening of this episode, I think that is not as like wild a prediction as you think.
I just feel like it can't be a whole musical episode a la that terrible Grey's Anatomy musical episode because there are so few, there's only 12. So, yeah. So those are my predictions.
We will see. Yeah, I'm really excited for you to see this next one. I think 3 and 4 are where the show really hits its stride. It's I just think, oh man, I'm so excited for you to see these next couple, and then by the end of the season, you're gonna be like fully like I have a feeling you're gonna want to binge season 2.
Okay, I'm gonna try not to though.
It's so hard not to. But yeah, I can't wait for you to see what's coming. But yeah, I think that's everything we had for episode 2. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week. Feel free to follow us on socials at Postfilm Clarity Pod and at Stones Top Tens, all one word for both. And you can email us at either address at gmail.com. That's postfilmclaritypod@gmail.com or stonestop10s@gmail.com.
We'll see you next week when we're looking at episode 3.